Hello, I am so sorry if you came into my last live because I just left and didn't mean to. Okay, so we're binding the mini. I'm gonna pick up where I'm at. Sorry about that. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm making a piece of paper basically the same length as this journal. And I'm going to show you a real easy way that I avoid measuring this stuff. So I just cut me a little strip of loose leaf paper. And basically, I'm going to mark on this loose leaf paper where I want the holes. And then I'm going to poke the holes with the loose leaf and move it. So this is what I do. I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to make a hole here. Yeah, it's right on that line. I'm going to make a hole here. And I'm going to make a hole there. Okay. And then at the top, let's see, probably, yeah, I'll probably go 2 lines down and do the same thing. And I'll do 2 lines up and, or skip 2 lines and do the same thing here. Okay, so that's how I measure. But I'm going to stick a little washi tape on here just to keep my piece of paper still while I pop the holes in it. And then we'll a 1/8 hole, which is the smaller of the two. And I'm just going to start punching holes. Be straight, it doesn't matter. One of my favorite journal makers, Jessica Rapp, she just eyeballs everything, which just amazes me because I can't eyeball anything straight to save my life. Here's all our little debris, and there's where the strings are going to be on the back. You can add book tape before you punch holes in it. Now I'm using these eyelets to bind or to reinforce my holes, and they're by Spare Parts. They're the Paper Studio ones. Okay, so I'm on the right setting here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set them from the back so that the splayed out part will actually be on the inside of the book. Start. These Paper Studio ones pretty much fit pretty snug in these holes, so they're not as apt to just go flying up everywhere. It's up to you. If you press too hard on this thing, these tend to crack and break, and then that's where I run into problems, is trying to get them back out. But, all right, so they're all pressed in. So I'm going to switch this to the eyelet setter, and I'm going to start setting eyelets. Sorry about that. Okay, so on the inside, none of them split, so that looks pretty good. So now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this same piece of paper, and all you have to do is kind of tape it down where, well, I'm going to fold it over just a bit. Just a wee little bit of this paper hanging out at the top and a little bit at the bottom. That's going to tell you where it's going to sit in your journal. So as you can see, I've got a little paper at the top here and a little paper at the bottom here. So that's about even. And there's 3. All right. So we're going to go to the other pages. All right. Okay. So I'm going to stick another safety pin. This one I'm going to put in the bottom hole. Okay. All right, and I don't typically tend to use a needle with this waxed linen because you don't have to. It's waxed so well, you can literally twist the tip of it and push it through. So you're going to go through the middle, up to the top, back to the middle, through the bottom, and back. So you're basically going to go back and forth here twice. So I'm just going to cut it a little bit extra so that I have some room to add dangles later. That's okay too. If you want to do the back signature first, do the back signature. Here is where you want to definitely double check that you have everything right side up. So this is why I put the pin in it. I am going to take this clamp off and open this page up. Okay, so see, there's my deer. So I know I'm right side up. I know the pages that I need right side up are right side up. Okay, so now we're going to come through the top or the bottom. It doesn't matter. Just stay in the same line where you're at. You know, if you're on the first signature, stay on the first. I guess you could actually crisscross them here. That might be cute. But then you'd have to sew in 2 signatures at once, and it would be a little more confusing. So for somebody like me, I'm pretty sure I'd mess that up. Now, you can also add beads at this juncture. I do not add beads to the minis, and I'll tell you why. Because it's difficult to lay them flat. You have very little room to write in them already. So I kind of feel like to add beads to them makes that a little bit more difficult. So hold your tail up out of the way as you thread your other thread through the tiny hole. You'll have to get a needle. Nope, I got it. Okay. Okay, so here's my tail still in. Now, the more room, wiggle room you leave yourself, the easier this is to not pull that tail through the wrong tail accidentally. So here we are. So now we've gone in the middle, right, out, back in the top, and then back into the middle. So now I'm going to pull this a little bit to make that tail a little shorter. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to go back in the bottom. I'm going to take my pin out now too. Normally when you have a lot more pages, that pin comes in a lot more handy. We don't have a whole lot of pages in the mini, so it wasn't really that necessary, but it's a good tip in the future if you do have a lot of pages, especially if the pages are all different sizes. It gets a little hairy when they're all different sizes. So now here we come. We've come to where we're going to tie it off. So you want to take this top thread and weave it under the bottom one. And then when you pull, just make sure it's taut. And you're going to do an over knot and then an under knot. Okay. And then if you like the tails and you want to add charms to them, you can leave them. If not, you can trim them off. It's up to you. So, Lordy, Lordy. Alrighty. So we're going to get this other one going. Make sure it's right side up. I'm going to go ahead and be brave and take a couple clamps off. Okay. So I'm going to thread that through the center. And through my book. Back out the top. And through the top hole. Uh-oh, something moved. No, it didn't. Sometimes you can see. If you can see that something moved, then that's bad. But nothing moved. I just didn't see the light. Okay, now this is kind of fraying, so I'm going to cut this and try it again. Just cut a tiny bit off. Oh, yay. See, that time it went right through. And then again, I left myself some wiggle room, so we're going to go back into the middle hole of the book and out the back. Okay, so I'm going to try and take up some of the slack now because this is just a little, I cut this one a little too long. So what you want to do, oh, for heaven's sakes, I'm holding on to that other end for dear life because I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want it to go anywhere. All right, so there we go. So now I am going to, oh, I'm going to leave this on. I'm going to take this off. And that obviously is going to go in there, right? So there we are. And then that is going to go in there. Hey, hey. Oh, I'm so excited. Look, I almost lost my tail. Ah. Okay. I love when a binding comes together. Love it, love it, love it. Yay. So we're going to loop around that. We're going to pull so that it's taut. Okay. And then I'm going to do an over knot and an under knot. And usually the wax thread's not going to come out anyway. So yeah. Okay. Isn't that cute? Oh, I love it. All right. So we've got a little pocket here. We could put something in the front. We'll do something cuter than this. And then we've got this pocket that we can put a tag or something in here. We can put that in there. And that's kind of cool because it's green. And then this is, I've made this with piano paper. This is a Mod Podge napkin, and this is tissue paper. Here's our Christmas Carol and our tags that we cut out of the paper pad that I'm using. Here's the other half of that music, player piano music paper. Here's some stamping and embossing I did. Some stitching, and then here's the second signature. Nothing there. A little bit of the beginning of a accounting ledger sheet. Then here we have part of a glassine bag that we can make into something. Excuse me. We have this flip out and part of an envelope here that we can use. And then we have kind of a center fold type thing here. So we could fold this in too if we wanted to. So this doesn't have to be folded the other way. This can be like this. And then we've got the other half of that bag, the other half of the glassine bag, the rest of the accounting sheet, the other half of the stitched paper, and the stenciled wreath that we did. So now is the decorating, the fun part. So I'm going to clean up this mess, and please check out Grandma Joe's 12-day collab. It's hashtag GJoe 12-day collab. Again, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Bye.